We're counting down the 4 worst Nintendo Switch exclusive games of 2022. We are trying to stick to AAA titles, and we're not necessarily going to be picking on any indie developers. The Nintendo fandom ate good this year, but that doesn't mean that every morsel was delicious. There were a number of stinkers that were exclusive to the console, so let's talk about the Solace, the good, and the Dread, the bad, of each of them, shall we? Before we get into it, I'm Solace, this is Solace and Dread. We produce reaction videos, as well as analytical content primarily focused on Nintendo, Square Enix, and Capcom publications. Let's jump into it. Starting with number 4, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The Solace. It's really hard to put this game in this list because this is one of my favorite games that I played in 2022. And possibly my favorite Pokemon game that I've ever played. It's got fun gameplay loops, a pretty cool story, a solid ending, and it pushes the game series forward in a good new direction, revolutionizing the gameplay. The Dread, I have to put it on this list because of just how incredibly bad the performance issues were. This isn't some indie studio. This is the biggest game franchise on the literal planet. Pushing this game out in such an unpolished state to hit holiday deadlines is absolutely inexcusable. It tarnished what could have been the best Pokemon game ever made. And we still bought it. Shit, cause it's good. Fuck the haters. Ranking in at number 3, Nintendo Switch Sports. The Solace. Remember 15 plus years ago when everybody was rocking Wii Sports and it was the dope new party game? Nintendo made a tighter, slightly modernized version of that. Nintendo does party games better than anybody, and it's only 40 bucks. The Dread. Nintendo has this bad habit of trying to resell you the exact same formula if it sold well before, without doing enough to innovate on the second run. Wii Sports was popular because there had never been anything like it. Now it's not special. It's a decade-and-a-half old concept that gets flat in an hour. Their resources were better spent elsewhere. Ranking in at number 2, Chocobo GP. The Solace. This is a cool way of taking an IP that you love and making it lighter than the source material. It's also adorable, and it has a free-to-play option. As a fan of Mario Kart and Final Fantasy, this could have been everything I ever wanted. But the Dread. Gameplay issues aside, this is clearly a mobile game that got changed to a Switch game last minute. Nickel and diming you at every turn too. The greed in charging you for a game to litter it in microtransactions is appalling, and God forbid you go the free-to-play route. You'll be trudging through grindy tasks to unlock everything until you die of old age. Also, the gameplay has some issues. There's not enough tracks, and the road is too fucking narrow. This adds to the most noticeable problem in the gameplay. The hazards and off-course zones affect you way too badly. Start, stop. Start, stop. Start, stop. Come on. Save the turn-based gameplay for the regular series. You can't avoid the spells and hazards, and your level of control is awful, so you and the AI are always going to be smashing into walls. Not good at all. Bad game. Ranking in at number 1, Mario Strikers Battle League. The Solace. This game probably has the most solid gameplay mechanics of the entire series, and they made each character extremely customizable with the gear system, but that's literally where the Solace ends. The Dread. What an unfinished pile of shit this game is. I have so many gripes it's hard to spit them out coherently, so I'm gonna keep it high level. Zero story and charm. At least Strikers Charged let you follow a text story as you go through the cups. It's like they just finished the gameplay and they're like, good enough, charge them 60 bucks. It's got Mario in it. The other sports games are half decent. At least Mario Golf and Tennis Aces had substantial updates to its life that made it decent. Another thing, they left out key characters that everybody expected, then released them as filler DLC like it was some kind of gift. Alongside that, they released extra stages, but the stages have zero effect on the gameplay, which is a huge miss. They all look relatively the same, so why release that as a DLC update and expect us to celebrate it? To link everything together, every single one of these games is actually a fun time. They're all fun, especially Pokemon. But games, in particular Switch games, have to hit a certain level of quality in order to excuse, nay justify, that $40 to $60 price tag. And every one of these games fails to do that glaringly in some way. But the truth is, they're gonna get away with it, like they always do, because we're masochists, or we've got really bad Stockholm Syndrome or something. Nintendo can take a big old shit on the floor, and all we're gonna do is ask them how much for the Nintendo branded spoon so we can scoop it up and eat it. Such is the life for a Nintendo fan in the 2020s. That's the list. Let me know if there was something that should have been on this list that wasn't. That's it from me. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon, and long live the Turtle Kingdom. See you in 2023. Although that's probably when you're watching this.